Let me ask you something honest. How long have you been trying to fix yourself? How long have you been waking up and telling yourself, today will be different, today I will be better, today I will finally become the person I always wanted to be? And how many of those days ended exactly like the one before? This is the story of a young man who tried to fix himself for years, until one quiet evening, he stopped. And that was the moment everything changed. His name was Aryan, 26 years old, not poor, not rich, just stuck. From the outside, his life looked fine. He had a small job, a decent room, food on the table. But inside, there was this constant noise, a voice that never stopped. You are wasting your life. You should be further ahead by now. Why can't you just get it together? Every morning, Aryan would wake up with a plan. He had a notebook full of plans, new habits, new routines, new versions of himself he wanted to become. He tried waking up at 5 a.m. He lasted 3 days. He tried reading every night. He lasted a week. He tried meditating, he tried journaling, he tried cold showers and no phone mornings and strict schedules. And every single time, he failed. And every single failure made that voice louder. The worst part? He didn't feel lazy, he felt broken, like something inside him was fundamentally wrong, like everyone else had been given a manual for life and he had been skipped. One evening, after another failed attempt at a new routine, Aryan sat on the floor of his room, not on the bed, the floor, the way you sit when you're too tired to even pretend anymore. He looked at his notebook, pages and pages of goals, crossed out, rewritten, crossed out again. He thought about his college friend, Rohan. He seemed to have it all figured out. He posted about his morning runs, his promotions, his growth journey. Aryan picked up his phone, opened Instagram, scrolled. Everyone was improving. Everyone was hustling. Everyone was becoming. And he was sitting on the floor. He threw the phone aside, put his head in his hands, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't make a new plan. He didn't write a new list. He just sat there, in the silence, in the mess of who he was. And he thought, maybe I am just not built for this. Maybe some people are meant to stay small. Maybe I should just accept that I will never change. That thought scared him, but it also felt strangely honest. His landlord was an old man named Shuklaji. Quiet man, simple life. He kept a small garden on the terrace of the building. Nothing fancy, just a few pots, some soil, a few plants. That evening, Aryan went up to the terrace, just to breathe, and he found Shuklaji sitting next to a plant that looked dead. Brown leaves, dry soil, bent stem. Aryan sat nearby. After a long silence, he said, "That plant looks like it's dying." Shuklaji looked at it calmly. "Yes," he said. "I overwatered it. I thought more water meant faster growth. I was trying too hard to help it." Aryan stared at the plant. Shuklaji continued softly. "Plants don't grow because you force them. They grow when you create the right conditions and then leave them alone. Stop interfering. Trust the process." He paused, then added, "The problem was never the plant. The problem was me. I kept trying to fix something that only needed space." Aryan didn't say anything, but something inside him shifted, like a quiet crack in a wall, small but real. That night, Aryan sat with his notebook again, but this time he didn't write a new plan. He just read the old ones, and slowly he began to see something he had never noticed before. Every plan was about fixing something wrong with him. Wake up earlier because sleeping in is wrong. Exercise daily because your body is wrong. Read more because your mind is wrong. Be more productive because your pace is wrong. Every single goal started with the belief that he was broken, that he needed to be fixed. And then a thought came, quiet and clear. What if I am not broken? What if I have just been fighting myself instead of understanding myself? He closed the notebook, for the first time not with frustration, with something closer to peace. He didn't delete his goals. He didn't give up on growth, but something fundamental changed that night. He stopped seeing himself as a problem to solve. He started seeing himself as a person to understand. the war inside him began to quiet down. Here is what Aryan learned, and maybe what you need to hear too. There's a difference between growth and self-punishment. Most of us don't know where one ends and the other begins. We set goals not because we love ourselves, but because we hate who we are right now. And when we fail, which we always do eventually, that hate grows louder. Real change doesn't come from fighting yourself. It comes from understanding yourself, your patterns, your fears, your exhaustion, what you actually need, not what Instagram says you should need. The plant didn't need more water. It needed the right conditions. And the right conditions started with the gardener stepping back. You are not a project to be completed. You are a person to be lived. Stop trying to fix yourself. Start trying to know yourself. Months later, Aryan wasn't still perfect. He still missed some mornings. He still had slow days. He still struggled. But he had stopped hating himself for it. And somehow, in that acceptance, real things began to change. Small things, quiet things. Things that didn't need a notebook or a plan or a 5 a.m. alarm. Just a person, finally at peace with who he was, while still becoming who he wanted to be. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Maybe today you don't need a new plan. Maybe today you just need to be a little more gentle with yourself. Because the most important journey you will ever take is not from who you are to who you want to be. It is from judging yourself to understanding yourself. Take that step. Even if it's small, even if it's quiet, take it. If this story touched something inside you, please like, share, and subscribe. We bring you stories that speak to the part of you that is still searching, still growing, still trying. We'll see you in the next one.